It's recap time. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and this is not my usual intro. This is a bit of a special episode. Unfortunately, I will be away for a few days, and I found out this interesting way of filling the gaps with recaps from previous episodes. If this is your first time here, use it as an opportunity to find topics that you might be interested in and go back to listen to the original ones. If you are a usual listener of the Shower Podcast, well, again, this might be a rehearsal of topics that you might be interested in. Otherwise, I understand if you want to wait for me to be back. But in the meanwhile, the podcast needs to continue and we need to reach day 365. Having said that, I will not keep you longer. Thank you very much for listening. As always, a like and a subscribe. They are always welcome. And now, recap time.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something a bit different, a custom request, actually.
Oh, interesting. What have we got?
We're looking at 3 recent episodes from Chip, the creator of the Shower Podcast. A listener, well, actually Chip's friend, sent them over episodes 277, 278, and 279.
Ah, okay. Chip's stuff is always thought-provoking, so the mission is...
Basically, to boil them down, get the main ideas, the key takeaways, and, the feel of what he's been talking about lately.
Especially since he just got back from that mini break he mentioned in 279, right? People might need to catch up.
Exactly. We're covering quite a bit cognitive bias, focus in today's world, and what really makes us tick.
Need versus desire. Yeah, I remember that one.
So just a heads up for you listening. If these ideas spark something, definitely go check out the original episodes on Chip's feed. They're short, sharp, and worth your time.
Right. But for now, we'll connect the dots for you. It's actually a neat sequence he laid out. Well, first he tackles why we stick with things that aren't working, the sunk cost trap. Then, okay, if we free up that time, how do we use it well? That's deep work.
And the last piece.
The why. Why bother with any of it? Need or desire, it sort of builds. So let's start at the beginning, episode 277.
The sunk cost trap. Yeah, this was one of his shorter weekend drops. And it hits home, doesn't it? That feeling of, oh, I've watched 3 seasons of this bad show, I can't stop now.
Or sunk 3 years into a job you dislike. It's that psychological weight, like you said. You keep pushing forward, just hoping the past effort doesn't feel wasted.
It's a powerful effect.
It really is. And Chip points out it's rooted deep in our psychology. He references loss aversion, a key idea from behavioral economics.
Explain that a bit.
Basically, losing something hurts roughly twice as much as gaining the equivalent feels good. So quitting a project feels like a big, painful loss.
So sticking with the bad situation, even if it's inefficient, is less immediately painful than admitting defeat and quitting.
Precisely. Your brain kind of opts for the dull ache over the sharp stab. He mentioned some 1985 research, Aries and Bloomer, I think.
Yeah, that showed people will literally throw good money after bad, just because they couldn't stomach the initial investment being a loss.
Right. It feels irrational, but it's a very human bias.
But Chip offered a way out, didn't he? A mental trick.
He did. The key insight revolves around opportunity cost. Okay, so the past effort, the 3 years, the money spent, that's gone regardless. You can't get it back.
Right. Sunk cost is sunk.
Exactly. But every extra hour or day you spend sticking with the wrong thing because of the past, that's time and energy you cannot invest somewhere better. That's the opportunity cost. You're actively sacrificing your future potential.
That reframes it completely. It's not about the past anymore. It's about the future you're giving up.
And that leads to his actionable advice. Reset the clock.
Which means?
You basically have to force yourself to look at the situation like a newcomer. Ask yourself, knowing everything I know now, the frustrations, the real outcomes, if this opportunity appeared today, brand new, would I take it?
Detaching from the history.
Totally. If the honest answer is no, then the only thing keeping you there is that sunk cost fallacy, that ghost of past effort.
And he suggested actually scheduling moments to ask that question, like decision checkpoints.
Yeah, crucial point. Don't just drift. Set a date, put it in the calendar, and force the evaluation. Otherwise, you might wake up 5 years later still stuck.
Okay, that makes sense. Free yourself from things you're only doing because you've already done them for too long.
And once you do free up that time and mental energy, well, that leads perfectly into episode 278, doesn't it?
Right. If time and attention are precious, how do we protect them? Deep work still works, even in 2025. Another weekend drop.
And timely, because distraction seems to be the default mode now.
Oh, definitely. Chip brought up some sobering data. Remember the Stanford research on multitasking?
Yeah, the one showing the heavy multitaskers actually perform worse on cognitive tasks. because the brain isn't truly doing two things at once. It's just switching frantically back and forth.
And each switch costs you time and focus. Plus, that stat about attention spans.
Oh, the goldfish one.
Yeah.
Down from 12 seconds online in 2000 to just 8 seconds in 2015. Chip reckons it's even worse now.
8 seconds. It's incredible we get anything done.
Well, here's the paradox Chip highlights, building on folks like Cal Newport. As general attention spans shrink, the value of sustained, deep focus goes up exponentially.
Because it's becoming rarer.
Exactly. It's a scarce commodity. If most people are constantly distracted, the ability to focus without interruption for, say, 60 or 90 minutes becomes a kind of superpower. Companies see it. Their top performers are the ones who can sustain that focus.
So deep work isn't outdated. It's actually more valuable because the world is so noisy.
That's the argument. Yeah. But let's talk about why it's hard. Why do we prefer the shallow stuff sometimes?
Dopamine, right. He talked about the neuroscience.
Yep. Those pings, notifications, quick scrolls, they give you tiny, immediate hits of dopamine. Feels good for a second, but it's shallow.
Leaves you feeling kind of drained and wanting the next hit.
Whereas deep work, getting into that focus zone for an hour or more, that taps into a different reward circuit. It leads to flow state.
Flow. Where you're totally absorbed, productive, and it actually feels good.
Right. It's a slower burn, but much more satisfying. Think about it. 3 hours doom scrolling leaves you feeling jittery and maybe a bit rubbish.
Yeah, totally depleted.
But 3 hours deep in a project you care about, you might be tired, but you feel energized, accomplished.
That makes perfect sense. You've actually created something.
So the hidden advantage is clear. Deep work is effective precisely because most people struggle with it now. If you can cultivate that focus, you gain a massive edge. Protect your focus time.
Okay, so stop wasting effort on sunk costs. Reinvest that effort using deep work. Which brings us to the final piece, episode 279, the why.
The motivation engine. Need or desire. This was the longer episode. And he framed it with a really relatable personal story about the gym.
Right. How he used to be super disciplined going to the gym in Rome, like late at night even,
Yeah.
driven by wanting to look a certain way.
But now, even with the gym right downstairs, he struggles more with consistency. That made him reflect on what was really fueling that past motivation versus now.
And that led to his classification, need versus desire.
Let's start with need. This is the strongest driver, he argues. It's when you have no choice. Pay rent, finish the urgent project, survive.
Need gets results, for sure. People pull off amazing things when their back's against the wall.
Absolutely. But Chip's point is that it's not sustainable or pleasant. It puts you in a sort of consuming, almost toxic survival mood. Great for sprints, terrible for marathons.
You don't want to live your life fueled by desperation.
Exactly. So that brings us to desire. And here, he makes a critical split. 2 types.
Okay, what's the first type?
He calls it bad desire. This is tricky. It's wanting something, not for itself, but purely to prove something to others, or even to yourself.
Like chasing a fancy job title just for the status, not because you enjoy the actual work.
Perfect example. It often feels like a need because it generates that same intensity, that obsession. You need that validation, but it's rooted in external comparison or filling a perceived lack.
And Chip argues that's ultimately toxic too.
Yeah, because even if you get the thing, the validation is fleeting. The motivation collapses, or you just move the goalposts and need to prove the next thing. It's a fragile foundation.
So the holy grail is the second type, positive desire.
This is the sweet spot. Positive desire is when you want something and you genuinely enjoy the process of getting it. The activity itself is rewarding.
Like wanting to be a better runner because you actually enjoy the feeling of running.
Precisely. Not just wanting the medal or the thinner body, but loving the run itself. When the desire is tied to the enjoyment of the doing, the activity becomes part of your life, part of who you are.
Chip said it becomes impossible to lose then, because the effort is the reward.
Exactly. If the motivation is purely external, the result, the validation, it's brittle. If it's internal, enjoying the process, it's resilient.
So the takeaway isn't a magic formula, but more an invitation to look inward.
Definitely. To ask yourself honestly, why do I want this? What part of this process do I actually look forward to? Is this driven by proving something or by genuine enjoyment?
And if it's bad desire or even just need.
Then you might need to consciously reframe it. Find aspects of the process you can enjoy, connect it to deeper values, shift the focus from external validation to internal satisfaction.
That feels really crucial for things like health, learning, long-term projects.
Yeah.
Shifting from I have to do this to I get to do this and here's a part I enjoy.
It's the difference between a chore and a passion. and connecting all 3 episodes. If your motivation is shaky, relying on need or bad desire, you're more likely to fall into the sunk cost trap or struggle to find the energy for deep work.
It all ties together. Wow. That was a really insightful journey through Chip's recent thoughts. Stop wasting effort, focus that effort intensely, and make sure the why behind it is positive and sustainable.
A powerful trifecta, really, from clearing out the dead wood to planting seeds that you actually enjoy watering.
It makes you think.
It does. And maybe here's a final thought for you to chew on. In a world that constantly feeds us messages about what we should want, what we supposedly need to buy or achieve to keep up, how much of your own daily effort is truly fueled by that positive, process-loving desire?
Versus how much is driven by a manufactured need or that nagging feeling you have to prove something.
Something to mull over.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much for sending those episodes our way and letting us take this deep dive. And thank you all very much for listening.
Stay consistent, stay resilient.
We'll see you tomorrow.